All right, we're back now with Emmy winner and Tony winner Martin Short. He's been a fixture in the comedy world for more than 4 decades, making us laugh with movies like Three Amigos and Father of the Bride. He was also a star on Saturday Night Live, where his cast of characters included one of his most famous, the bizarre Ed Grimley.
But if they say yes, you can be on the show, I think I would go so crazy. It would be just the best. Mr. Sajak, I would like to buy a vowel, please. And a free spin wouldn't be bad, I must say.
You know, we paid tribute to SNL over the weekend on Halloween, and I was going to do Ed Grimley.
Well, why didn't you?
Because Pat spoke to me for some reason. I don't know why.
Pat
Welcome.
always speaks to you.
It's good to have you here.
Good to see you, Matthew.
You know, you were only on Saturday Night Live 1 year.
Yeah.
And it seemed to me to be a lot longer.
I think that was because Billy Crystal, Christopher Guest, Harry Shearer, and I had 1-year contracts. And I think that we treated it like 22 specials. So you could never, like if I had thought I was going to be there for 5 years, I would have just been kind of calmer about it.
Yourself a little bit.
But everyone's okay, how do I top myself from last week?
Was it the schedule that got you? Did you not like that grind every week?
No, it was just, that's what I went into. I'd done SCTV for a few years. I had a new little baby. And I just thought 1-year contract. They gave it to me.
You've got this book out about your life, and I think you're too young to write this book, but that's okay because you've accomplished a lot.
I'm going to be 45 next year.
Oh, yeah, right, exactly. And you...
What's everyone laughing about?
In your visits here, it's occurred to me that you're kind of a private person, and yet in a book like this, by its very nature, you have to reveal things about yourself. Were you worried about that?
Yes, absolutely. I used to think, I could never write a book because I don't want to talk about that person phoning me up at 4 in the morning drunk, you know. But then you realize, A, you don't have to include that story. And secondly, I think that, my wife died a couple of years ago, and, I had also lost my parents when I was young.
And I think a brother.
And a brother. Within a short period of time. So at 20, I had lost 3 members of my family. And yet I had to figure it out, how to be happy, because my natural orientation was to be happy. And then at 60, the same thing. So I thought, oh, I see a book now.
You write about Nancy, and one of the things I loved reading about is she was very funny.
Hilarious.
Very funny.
Yeah.
And you tell a story about how when you two would argue, she would demand to speak to Ed Grimley.
She liked Ed Grimley better than me. And at times, because Ed always sided with her. And so she'd say, okay, I don't want to talk to you. You're being obnoxious. I want to talk to Ed. Oh, Miss Nancy, how boring is he? He's just so obsessed with himself, I must say. And my, that's a pretty top you're wearing. She'd say, okay, go away, Ed.
That's it. Done. I win the argument.
Yeah.
You talk about some of the people you know in Hollywood, not in a name-droppy way, in kind of a matter-of-fact way, but you talk about having the chance to meet some of your idols. And you went to Broadway one night and sat next to Katharine Hepburn.
I did.
It didn't go so well.
No, it didn't. I went. It was a play, The Royal Family, and I'm sitting there. I had a single ticket, and there's an empty seat beside me, and then suddenly I hear, "Excuse me, get out of my way! Move that umbrella, you idiot!" And it's Katharine Hepburn, and she sits right here, and I'm thinking, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to be very cool, And then Act 1 ends, and Rosemary Harris is the actress in the play, and she does a dramatic diatribe and collapses on the stage. And I turn to Hepburn, forgetting it's Hepburn. I say, "Isn't she classy?" And she, because I'm talking to her like a real person, says, "She certainly is. Rosemary has an ability to be real in the moment, very much like Spencer, very much like the best people that you've ever imagined in your life." And as she's saying that, I'm thinking, I'm talking to Katharine Hepburn. So I say to her, "Well, Miss Hepburn, you're no slouch." And she looks at me and says, "Thank you." And then she turns to the first, "Do you mind if I change seats?"
She needed to get as far away from you as
she
possible.
didn't want to talk to me.
The book is a wonderful combination of the very funny and the very poignant, which is always the case with you. Martin, it's great to see you.
Matt, great to see you.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks, man.
Thank you very much. And the book is called, I Must Say, My Life as a Humble Comedy Legend.